Instead of Senator Dodd. But let's get some perspective on this. Chris Kofinis is a Democratic strategist, and Alex Conant is a Republican strategist. So I'll start off with you, Alex, because this comes at a week when Chairman Michael Steele says that the Republicans aren't ready to lead. He's not sure if they're ready to take over here, but you've got this opening. So contrast that with Steele's insecurity about the Republican Party and what's happened with these Democrats today.
Well, I think actually the RNC is putting up a real fight just in North Dakota, where we had this retirement. Just last week or the week before that, they sent a spokesman to North Dakota to really take the fight to Dorgan. I think he took a look at the landscape, realized this was going to be a real fight, did not make this decision in a political vacuum, decided to rather pull back from the table and cash out, and he's going to make some money now as an energy lobbyist, presumptively. And in Connecticut, you have the same situation where, you know, as Chuck Todd wrote in NBC's first read this morning, it's never good when an incumbent retires and leaves an open seat like they have in Connecticut.
Chris, I'll let you get in on this. Does this mean something, a bad national ominous picture for Democrats?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I understand why people may want to make it more than it is, because it happened in one day. So there's a natural, I think, kind of proclivity to make it bigger than it really is. You know, it ends up being a wash. You know, Senator Dodd is going to, he was a great senator, but was going to face a tough race. Senator Dorgan, another great senator, but, and I would thought was going to win. But, now that he has decided to step down, Governor Hoeven, who's the Republican, is probably the odds-on favorite. So it ends up being a wash. In terms of the bigger picture, here's, I think, the thing to keep in mind. There are bigger dynamics. For example, the RNC is $15 million less. They're in a terrible money position for a party that supposedly is resurrecting itself. The NRCC, which is the Congressional Committee.
That's because they invested money to win in New Jersey and Virginia.
Now, the NRCC, which is the Congressional Committee, is in a terrible spot. So they have both in terms of money problems, they have no message as a party, and then there's a continuing civil war within the Republican Party doesn't bespeak well to a Republican resurrection. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy year.
But Chris, let me ask you this, though. But for the Republicans, though, and as you pointed out, the races with Dorgan and Dodd were going to be tough. Does this, though, say to those Democrats out there, cut and run, as so many like to say about Sarah Palin, if the landscape gets too tough?
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Because here's what, if you look at the polling, both the private polling I've seen as well as the public, this is not an anti-democratic year. This is not anti-Obama. This is not anti-Democratic Party. In fact, the American people still trust President Obama over the Republican Party in terms of addressing the key problems. This is, if you will, an anti-politician, anti-incumbent. So I think if you run on a very strong message of addressing the bread and butter issues the American people care about, I think you're going to be in a good spot. The Republicans think this is going to be an easy election just because the historical trends are that way. I think they're going to be sorely mistaken.
Alex, we'll give you the last word.
Well, a year ago, the Cook Report said that no Democratic-held seats were toss-ups or leaning Republicans. Today, there are 7 seats that the Cook Report says are currently held by Democrats are now either toss-ups or leaning Republicans. The movement is certainly shifting in the Republicans' direction, and we feel very good. And today's retirements by Democratic incumbents is only good, can only be interpreted as good news for the Republican Party.
Alex, Chris, thank you both. We certainly appreciate you joining us today. And outgoing Senator